Welcome to the explainer. Let's just dive right in, shall we? A lot of folks walk around thinking self-discipline is like this genetic lottery ticket. You either have it or you don't. But I'm here to tell you that is absolutely not the case. Self-discipline is an entirely attainable skill.
So, are you born with discipline? Look, it's time we lean in and completely shatter this motivation myth once and for all. We see these people waking up at 5 a.m., hitting the gym, crushing a 10-hour workday, and we immediately think, okay, they've got to be genetic mutants, right? But no, they aren't born with some magic trait that you lack. We've got to compare motivation and discipline here because motivation, it's totally fleeting. It's completely unpredictable. It just shows up whenever it feels like it. Discipline, on the other hand, is a trainable muscle. The reality is, right now, your discipline muscle might just be a little, atrophied because of some tiny daily missteps. But don't worry, the 5 daily routines we're going to break down in this explainer are guaranteed to completely rewire your brain. All right, moving to our first pillar, habit 1, the micro-commit it.
Think about it. When we finally decide we want to get disciplined, what's the first thing we do? We try to overhaul our entire lives all at once. And yeah, usually by day 3, we completely burn out. Why? Because your brain literally views sudden massive changes as a threat. So instead of a massive change, like promising yourself you'll read for an hour or work out for 2 hours, you need to make a micro-commitment. Read just 1 page. Do like 5 push-ups. The psychology happening under the hood here is absolutely fascinating. You aren't optimizing for massive results right out of the gate. You're optimizing for an identity. You are proving to yourself that you are someone who keeps promises to themselves.
So, here is your specific daily task. Commit to 1 page or 5 push-ups. You must make the commitment so ridiculously small that it is literally harder to ignore it than to just do it. That's how you turn this into a simple, friction-free daily routine.
Okay, let's look at habit 2, strategic dopamine delays. There is a serious unseen danger in flooding your brain with cheap, effortless dopamine before your feet even touch the floor in the morning. 80%. That is the staggering chunk of people who reach for their phone within 15 minutes of waking up. Think about that. You scroll, you check emails, and boom, you've kickstarted your day with high dopamine and 0 effort. When you do this, your brain basically decides that any task requiring actual effort later on is completely unappealing. You've essentially sabotaged your own willpower for the hard tasks before your day even really began.
So here are your specific marching orders for tomorrow morning. Your task: delay your phone use for just 30 minutes after waking up. Build this incredibly simple daily routine. Use that time to drink some water, stretch, or just sit with your thoughts. Letting your baseline dopamine stabilize is what ensures those difficult tasks don't feel completely impossible later on. Which brings us to habit 3, the 5-second friction fix. Now, this is based on an incredible concept popularized by Mel Robbins. You see, discipline usually goes to die in that sneaky little rationalizing gap between thinking about doing a task and actually starting it. So here is the mechanism to beat that. Step 1, feel the impulse to act. Step 2, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 out loud. Step 3, move immediately. What does this actually do? Well, this specific countdown physically shifts the activity in your brain. It moves it right from the emotional excuse-making center over to the prefrontal cortex, the exact part of your brain responsible for focus and execution. And here is how you build that into a routine. Your task: whenever you feel resistance, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 out loud and just move. The rule here is simple, but it is absolute. Do not give your brain the time to take a vote on whether it wants to do the work or just stay comfortable. Moving right along, we have habit 4, active delayed gratification. Think about this for a second. Every single choice you make between a short-term reward and a long-term goal is a training session. You're either training impulsivity or you are actively strengthening your discipline. And we can practice this in incredibly small ways all day long. Wait 2 minutes to eat your food when it's hot and ready. Finish the sentence you're writing before you check that incoming text. Stand in cold water for 30 seconds right after a workout. These are tiny moments of intentional discomfort. They matter so much because they teach your brain a critical lesson. Uncomfortability is temporary, and you are entirely in control of your impulses. So the crucial takeaway for this habit is right here. Your task: pick 1 tiny delay today. Seriously, just 1. Make it your daily routine. By keeping it to a single micro delay, you completely avoid decision fatigue and practically guarantee a win for your discipline muscle. All right, finally, let's look at our last pillar, habit 5, cognitive offloading systems. You know, a lot of people think they're just failing at discipline, but what's actually happening is their brain is just suffering from intense mental fatigue and overwhelm. Just compare a cluttered mind trying to remember to buy milk, reply to that email, and pay a bill with an offloaded mind. Just trying to hold on to that information drains the exact energy you need for self-control. But with an offloaded mind, where your top 3 tasks are actually written down, you free up 100% of your processing power for execution. It's a total game changer. Highly disciplined people never rely on their memory for this stuff. They rely on systems to clear out the mental clutter.
Which brings us to your final specific task. Write down your top 3 non-negotiable tasks. Make it a daily routine to just dump everything out of your brain and onto a piece of paper every single morning. Or even better, the night before. You've got to free up that mental hard drive. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to remember this. Building discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent with the boring daily fundamentals. And that circles perfectly back to our very first habit today. We are completely avoiding massive, sudden, overwhelming changes. We are focusing purely on building consistency. Which leaves us with this final, absolutely crucial question. Which one habit will you start tomorrow? And remember, do not try to do all 5 tasks at once. Pick just one specific daily task we covered today. Drop a comment below right now with the one task you're committing to, and let's keep building that unshakable,